folks, Ariel over here at Finance, where today I want to show you how I make one of the, what I think is one of the quickest, easiest to prepare ahead meals that I make using leftovers. This is leftover, actually chicken and duck from our birds. This is an excellent recipe for using up leftover turkey. That's partly why I wanted to share it with you guys, because I see a lot of people saying, oh, I don't know what to do with leftover turkey. I make this more often with turkey leftovers than anything else because we like turkey and we eat it throughout the year, and we'll also cook it whenever I can get a good price on one, since we haven't raised our own. But both Clay and I prefer the dark meat, so we usually have the turkey breast as the leftover part that nobody wants, and this is something excellent to do with it. But as you can see, it works just fine with other meats. So this is just the meat pulled off the bone. I'm just kind of cutting it into slightly bite-sized chunks. And we are going to make burritos. I'm going to get this warming up just a little bit. And just a little coconut oil in the pan here to get this to start frying. Hopefully, if you guys have Thanksgiving meals planned and don't know what to do with the leftovers or something, this is one of the many things. I've never understood having that problem. I have so many meals I can make with chicken or turkey that's left off of roasting a whole bird that I always want more than I have, not less. Anyway, just gonna, these are gonna crumble apart somewhat more into smaller pieces, so I'm just kind of cutting the meat long way, or across the grain to make shorter grain chunks. And these, oh boy, I don't know where this recipe first came from. This is something I've been making since I was quite young, and used to take, these are good, I think, either warm or hot. My preference is probably, warm or cold. My preference is probably warm, but they're not at all bad as a cold meal as well. I used to pack them in my lunches when I worked at a greenhouse and such, and just eat a couple of them cold as a meal that I took along for lunch. Anyway, gonna get that going here, then add our few other ingredients. If you want to know how I roast my turkeys, just go to the channel and look up the word turkey. It should be the very first video that pops up. The kitchen has changed a good bit since I filmed that, but I still roast my turkeys exactly the same way, and there's one defrosting in the fridge right now that we're going to enjoy a little bit later this week with some friends and family. Anyway, they're stuff it with oranges is the gist of it, and it comes out just beautifully moist and is very simple. Look up that video if you like, and also if you want other recipes that people often make toward Thanksgiving, I have one on my grandma's cranberry sauce recipe, which I will also be making, and maybe later on this week I'll get to recording a pumpkin cheesecake. That's one of my favorite things to make for dessert at this time of year. So if you have questions about how I roast a turkey, and I do basically the same thing for a chicken or anything else, go check that out. You guys might enjoy that as well. The meat is pre-cooked, because this is what was left after I pulled all the meat off the full birds, and this is really quick. This is a jar of our home canned salsa that you saw us doing this past year. And I canned a year's worth of salsa, so it's lots of tomatoes, onions, peppers, garlic, all that good stuff from, well, the tomatoes aren't from our garden, nor the peppers, but the onions and garlic are. So, and it's a good chunky one. You can use, of course, smoother or chunkier, depending on your personal taste. We like this with a chunky one. You can add to your taste more onions or more garlic or more peppers as that starts to simmer together there. Use the last little bit out of my pint jar. And I'm going to put in one bell pepper, just to, even though there's a lot of peppers in there, just to kind of add a little bit more fresh color to it. These also freeze really well. So if you make a big batch and stick them in the freezer, you can pull them out, you know, kind of one at a time or 10 at a time or whatever you like to do for however many people you're feeding, and they are great for that. So I'm just going to add this orange pepper here. You can do anything you like. You could even add more hot peppers if you like things really spicy. I'm a little bit of a wimp about spice, so I'm just doing a bell pepper here. And this, I'm not even planning to eat today because, like I said, this is so good. Prepared ahead and then heat it up. I'm actually preparing this for when Clay's going to be here home and working on some projects that I don't want to spend. I want to be free to help him with that stuff, and I don't want to have to spend my time cooking. So I'm going to have this all ready, and then we will just stick it in the oven when we want to eat. But until then, it's just going to sit in the fridge until tomorrow. And you certainly don't have to do that. You can eat it right away, but it is also excellent as a prepare ahead thing like that, and that's what I happen to be doing with it in this case. So throw the rest of our peppers in there, and then this recipe may have originally actually come off the back of a mayo jar. Not sure. But I've got a little bit left here of some Primal Kitchen avocado mayo. And this is what's going to make this all creamy. Well, I guess all my spatulas are dirty. I'm just going to add a little bit of that mayonnaise. Not much. That was probably, you know, it was probably 4 cups of chicken and 2 cups of salsa, and that was like half a cup of mayo and a whole bell pepper. And this is just wonderful. It smells delicious. I'm going to turn the heat off. Everything in here is cooked enough. Those bell peppers are going to cook a little more when I put this in the oven. And then what I do is just get a baking pan of whatever size you like. And I've got some fresh made tortillas, not made by me, from a little local place. So they are beautiful and soft. And we're going to ladle this into them. Sometimes I find it helpful to just lay it in there a while so I don't have to hold on to it. And you don't want to overfill these because I find it's really easy to get with anything like this more in than you think you have. And I've got a little bit just a mixed shredded cheese. We don't eat a lot of dairy because it doesn't tend to sit well with us, but I like the flavor of adding just a little cheese in there. And then I'm just going to roll this up, stick in any goodies that fell out the end, and plunk it there. And we're going to repeat this down the pan. And this is a dish that I think is excellent, served with some kind of fresh veggie. It seems like very often, because I tend to do this more in the winter, because I tend to roast whole birds more in the winter, I end up doing it with just sauteed cabbage, just a teeny bit of water in the bottom of a pan to get your cabbage to start cooking the moisture out of the cabbage itself, and then just add a little bit of salt and butter, and oh, I forgot our cheese in that last one. And saute it till it's just starting to get tender. Not cooked to death, not boiled cabbage. It actually tastes a little bit like sweet corn, I think, when you do that. And for some reason, that flavor seems to me to go really well with these burritos. But you could also have any other kind of veggies with it you like. And that is my really simple chicken burrito recipe for making ahead refrigerating, freezing, eating hot or cold. Now, what I will usually do with these, everything again in here is pre-cooked, so you could eat these just like they are right now, because that's not raw chicken or anything. But normally what I'll do is fill the pan here and sprinkle a little bit of cheese on top, and when I want to reheat this tomorrow, I'll just stick the whole pan in the oven. Probably with the pan full, that'll take, I'd say, at least 45 minutes to an hour at about 350 to warm back up. If you put a cold pan in the oven, put it in while your oven's cold and turn your oven on to heat at the same time so that you're not putting a cold pan out of the fridge into a hot oven. So I'll just put it in, turn the oven on, and heat this up to have for our lunch tomorrow. And when I'm heating, my goal is to just get it hot through, maybe brown the edges of the tortilla just a bit, make them just a little bit crispy. And I'm going to need a second pan. So if I flatten these out just a bit on top, and just enough cheese sprinkles to make it look pretty, and that pan is ready to go in the oven.
We hope you enjoyed it.
Come back next time for more adventures.
Thanks for watching.